Assalamu alaikum badi la melalu ngali konto ngali bismillah na Bitilo kibaro de jangal nal badi malam Nfally Fadera ani Ebrima Sonko ngali konto bi arabo October karotili mo ani kononto la mbenyin sawmen kono konto ndro ko la do kondalta ka kenyame sina jibe ke kunto kibaro la kataba ke badi namono ke doron sa fale doron ko bidun ngaluntam bunyari mbado le fanan soto ka kafu majam bi Bitilo kibaro de jam men keda Mr Foday Chorr ata keda moti me alon ko mo savo fanko president ko jamme kullo nyole mu mole me alon ka kanu bake bare dingolo fana mati opposition APRC parti kono memu parti me alon ko president ko jamme ye wala lonu nga tujang gambe banko kam ngala ne nyin temben na jamme la ko mantra felile moma gambe banko kam in fact ako chocho be wararin je kabintumo menade fon finditanum ka kankularo ke ko silang abe silolo ndikanne pour kana gambe banko kam so nga Mr Chorr sore jam pour na wala kaja barimbe futala Mr Chorr mala ata mela and then babula la ni mol senyor kondom bari namono ke drong insafo mole Ebrima bejam ko nga fa nyamin sonkon deni nge kondom ye bismillah se bule ni mole nyo kondom wo ko lansina jibe ke ko kibaro la karaba ke drong na dun kaja kono
baraka bake Nfally Fadera baraka bake na lamo lalbe dawda momo kala lamoy YouTube lambang Facebook lambang fo radio lundo Gambia bang konka kibaro dunin damin to labang fo TikTok lambang dawda kala lamoy damba flalo ko alnim barala baraka mbal tentu lambal jela kontol lekana na ja wato wati loko bidung nimbading anin tero fanam bejang Mr Chorr nyole bina kachala kula mi yalan ka dending Gambia kule la konka fale nyame wato wati so mbatu demanding ke dorong sina kacha fanun dale demanding ke Mr Chorr welcome Nfally ya baraka
baraka bake akam do ko bi nga nyomin ka saballe sore jang Mr Chorr bismillah nsebuleni mole nyokondong
yo assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh alhamdulillah rabbil alamin bi alaman satalla tentula mi enda mantul hadama dingoni jino da fengo fenna foka batu fen bi dunya kono atelier ada puruntul hadama dingo sewuta ngam famuna pangala puruna dunya balos bete na la kire bete to kam mam fana se lamur lal kontonk ke jay ke tentu ni be lamoy la sañ min bine lamoy la ñaato anin femfe mi ya lonko sina wato soto pour kasi ke lamoy na kacala be jay lambe tenturo fana be mulla ñim fonde kel kam be siring al ñaabe minula ka kaca min kam manam Bitilo ka binga commencé ka ajube kal lamoy na ku jamal le karanje dum hadama dingo du ko tambi karangola ko mata na bolbo kono baat ولم كلمة فلوت مية لون كان النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم جبريل يجينا كم بركة كرام نون كرام ممن أمان كمين دكاسي كلاس وكانوا بركة إكزام وباس كرام منكم ما تكون ولم كيداجي كو أني إيمانيا كفالين كندول داجي كندول تنسيني واتو تا بركال جاي كال تنتو برال ألين فنا كوماندين جامي المنا لندن تا يا جوبي المنا mulunja ya jibe alma jibe ko Foday Chorr lom nyinti abi nyimpati karle ali entale ko banku dingo pum fananga na miro tombal jela mbal tentula baki
baraka baki Mr Chorr thank you very much indeed ye kacha yele nyabe nga betiata nyata thank you very much Mr Chorr mbe menkela drum be kibaro karabato jibe le kunto kibarolu about 2-3 minutes ni ubata drong na abla kacha kono ngeje ngetendu mbadi ngol ko Ebrima Sonko ya fa nyamin al nim Bitilo le bejang Nfally Fadera ni Ebrima Sonko sol membe la may ka radio dal be moy kam Vibes FM le 106.1 FM mem felenting manjay kunda sare kono atol mem fanam ben jibe kan blalto internet oto al nim Bitilo le be nyola sa fale fanan ko al se hekatu drom al kanje dawda internet oto al se subscribe na channel loldo sa ko YouTube fango na subscribe ta ninga dundi watu dorong albekila mo follow timen ba sotola anim fanan akamako la fanan kaji ko kibaro janjang se sonia mo jamal fanan sa kala motay sa sude bari ngolu kondal ta ka nyamen silence katapato jibe ke kunto kibaro la ngamen so bari namano ke na Bitilo kibaro ngamen so jam eko niaje mulka sila sala eko kunole bala eko niaje mulka sila sala
Bitilo man salimo di
ning ali Bitilo mansali ngoko dolon from safo mole dulalto al kibaro sotamento ko ngafa nyamem fo Facebook, TikTok, Instagram ora YouTube lem wala fang WhatsApp groupe ol men yalon ko ngawolle yele tarinke mbadi ngol nimulta nan se katabato jibe ke kunda kibaro la ngamen sotamento mbadi ngolu ngali konton kote ke Bitilo kibaro ko ngafu nyameng sila wato sida pour nga jibe ke kibaro la kunto kibaro la ngamen soto jang kataba ke bo kolanse murna ning Mr Foday Chorr sina kacha kula men yalan ko wolle be den ning kuma kan wala men boda president koto Yahya Jammeh bulu mbadi ngolu kibaro to ikafo meye ko almame James Manga kata fo Serigne Mas Diallo aning Aissatou Je Nahra kibaro la tan je ko nyulal tombong keke commissioner keke commissionality bankola anti corruption commission bunda kuto do me alonko man sakunda fa ka wole londi gambe banko kam ni anti corruption commission bunda le me alonka do ko be kele mendi wole mu pour ka taple an tilimale ya kele gambe banko kan ka ko kis ka dango bondi bari fanan ka mol kontibo kaje ko de mol men alonko ay sobita ko wolel ba ko ma ese kontibo ibarolla ko kibarolla tan nyam ni ngara kuti me alon ko kubere ku kendelamu ay mol kontana ye sewo ka tan jamal be jikirin ko nyimu fenneti me alon ka be makoro kala man sakunda la bake ka taple anin tilimbaliata ka wudu gambia banko kan ka kele ikibaro la tan ye ko nyimmo sabannu e ko man sakunda nyi men tombonteng e ko ye tolu sikale ki la député bu ngokoto pour ese la kola ye la kolta ye kiskisi ye jibe o kola e finance la songo iten wala la sombalia gambia man sakunda la nyinkira kumalti melanko e kabe suffering kibar kayt la kono member ministry of justice kata jama mul be kan kamul be kala mutandi in simfala me alon ko man sakunda walata nimboro do mbadi ngolu se jibe ke kibar la membe den ning senendir la member United Democratic Party bulu opposition UDP e to lel diamata ka senendir ke kitabo la me alon ko madi sisi wala safe Talib Ahmed Bensouda la kola Talib Ahmed Bensouda fanan ketano UDP diwadi bari ngaje ko yin kartambila nu kono ay kankularo ko abe findi kam patio kono le manama anim patio walida anim patio dinjamal tara nyola dingo dol tara nyola bari UDP la madi sise me alon kate be atutuda UDP la kono UDP membe la osenu dabo koto e katele buko findindi kitabo buko me alon ka be denen Talib Ahmed Bensouda la ala nyatun kaya ka jeyi ka tentu wo buko kono bari UDP ye men senandi kibar kayto kono kono men findira wala mu ko madi la nyin kitabo e ka meta safele ya tani je ko ay projet ko le pour ka UDP chairman ol ning area council ol jibe ela nyatun ko men be je yirwani nyata men sorede la koro ka safe ya tani je ko atabe nyin safero kanne num kabintu mo men talib ni UDP kuyata bari o nyanya ma madi na tenten do ko nyinna ko kibaru le tani nyamem nimboro don se jibe ke kibar la membe dending man sa sumare la kola man sa keta moti me alon ko tabe kitio kono nun high court banjul sate kono kibarolu yaitani je ko high court me wole man sa sumare bula ay jolonke tumiro la men alon ko wolel de nga kangoda man sa ning Ebrima JS sane le bo kitio kono man sa keta nun state house drive wodi atele ka president drive nun state house banjul sate kono ye tumiro lala commando ko ay taple anin tilimbali ko lel ke men be dending bankola diplomatic passport kola kibarolu yaitani je ko ala kitio dum e kalo jam fada baka sanji woro ay woleta ay ko kiti tela memo justice Ebrima jedeti wala e bayro ke tumiro la bankola mole mella nyimmo fulolu kam ay nyinuta ay la kitio ta jolong ko kibarolu yaitani nyamena atani magistrate justice Ebrima jedeti ko ako bankola loyalu mate wasa nyin kitio kono akola sede wolu ani la sede jarole kumul men sara ko nin kumu musafo e mela tumirol senen no e mela mansaning Ebrima kangada nimboro don se jibe ke kibar la membe dending ko bakangol la men bota banko nyar mansa kunda bulu membe dending president ko jamela kola gambe mansa kunda le ay tan je ko iko kambe o men dunda president ko Jammeh ECOWAS UN aning president Adama Barrow la transition mansa kunda tema 2016-17 san kono pour Jammeh se bo Gambia eta e ko fenne me alon ko MOU nyi man sign manama farala ma mantara la ring Gambia man sakunda kam ko ya eta ni nyamenna e ko nin kumu mo safo fanko fannalu be menu bulata o kono num ila sula ko ani hamo ye wole fi itandi drum ya safe ka itandi ko ko yo be kenu men kam ma wole mum kaji ko de fitno men be kiri ngo jamano la ase bang watara kele manke anim fanan Jammeh sita kayro kono ko ya itani nyamena atani Gambia man sakunda nyokuma kan sifalu sada kibar kaytila kone même findindi kabin tuma men de jabir ke kam kuma kangol la men bota president ko do Jammeh bulu ko abe silo kan ne nan kana Gambia banko kam masakunda aytani je ko Jammeh dum Gambia dingolem na lafta se murno na ne bari ko mole me alon ko luwa be sulari ngala la Gambia na dum da Gambia banko kan iba konti bola a baro lale ko kibaro lu ya itandi nyamenna mbadi ngolu se jibe ke kibaro fana membe de Guinea Bissau banko la e ko Guinea Bissau banko ela embassy men felenti Gambia wala liya dadi ka banko di yasika ka di Guinea Bissau di bonsungol la men yalon ko lebe sabatiri Gambia banko kam atani Guinea Bissau la embassy ko elaftale ka itandi Guinea Bissau dingol la ko Guinea Bissau mi la banko le ni la fam murla je watu wati sitano jele bara ko Guinea Bissau man sakunda laftale Bissau dingo be dawda dunia kono ye silo soto pour kala faro ke banko la nyartan yidwato e ko latina yenyi nyong kusifa dadi ko kibaro le tan nyamena Gambia man sakunda la fanam ye bayrike kumandirol la molbe menke kan pour essayer molu tolu banke mol men yalon ko Gambia la diplomatic passeport be mutarin wollel bulu Gambia man sakunda ko e to keno la ñi ñong kuma kan sifalu men be den passeport la e ko woludum findita kabintuma menna kibaro dolu findita dum commande sako fan Senegal banko kam ko Gambia man sakunda e diplomatic passport wuli muan nesika ka di kabintuma menna president Adama Barrow la man sakunda nara man sakunda ya ko ñi mbay ya senandi ko mentata kanyam fo passport wuli saba ke tan saba e ko wole doron dita ko ya itandi nyamena bari biri ya sasiro ke Dr. Sisela pour fo ya ñinin ka fo man sakunda be banque kala molu tol la men yalon ko diplomatic passeport bo wala bulu Dr. Sise ko hani man sakunda to kala ko buka ke dularo ako ñim diplomatic passeport lu nin ko mo safo sutura kulemu kadu molu la fansun ko lel ka tara safari nje ako tumando bato be menu bulu wolta dun tela fila ila ko e lankenma ayla kenbato kaytan nyamena barako ila faka mensenandi ka bambandi wala mu ko bankola diplomatic passport dinya silol nin simfalel beje andu Gambia man sakunda buka tulu wala bara ko la fere ka sinandi fanan ko passport wuli mu mandi wuli saba tan saba wala dira ata du yemaytene wala mu ka ko mol men benyim fokan akoy ba fokan politiko la kamba drom anata bayro fanan ke kuba kan la men fanan be fokan ko Senegal dingolu menu yedo ko ke Macky Sall be nyini kan ko jamal be siring e be sabatri nata mabo Gambia le Dr. Sise ko mansoto aka manke kusotorindi ako Gambia mu bankuleti me alon ko ako e ka fame ko extradition treaty wala be Gambia ni Senegal tem manam ñi banku flannu ni momo sulata momo la memborta anyom banku katankam isa mari murundi nona ako ñi lokon tam la dronnemu Gambia man sakunda e kewo muta Senegalais me alon ko Senegal man sakunda sulata la ya murundi ka di Senegal bankola ako mo mantara Gambia etul bota men kalama membe mabori Gambia kada du yaita ni nyamenna bari ngolum be kum faro kela na banko kibaro la jan ni muta nandorom ko nga faale nyamen sina dum kacha kono nga Foday Chorr soto jang ka Ebrima Sonko fanan soto jang ni muta nandorom sina tan mbali ngolu ngali konton ngali bismillah na Bitilo kibaro to jang atol membe la man ka radio Gambia banko kan album moy kam Vibes FM le 106.1 FM men flenti manja ko da sato kono nga Ebrima soto jang ali Foday Chorr ko nga fo nyamen ya nata men kacha bi wole mu kulti men yalon ko abe dending president ko to Jammeh APRC anin carte fawni politico Gambia banko kam Foday Chorr mo leti me yalon ko mo safo amu national executive member di APRC party o men flenti Gambia banko kan APRC me yalon ko wollel be president koto Jammeh koma alla faka sinandi ko nga APRC bulu fula la soto ninkumu Gambia banko ka ngala ne Foday bina la ka sinandiri ke o kola nyaato do man kibaro kono bari Foday be APRC men na karora wala mo APRC di me alon ko wollel be bamburin president koto Jammeh koma ka fay ko Noto Alliance ko jamali lon ni nyamena Foday mo moti me alon ko ameta party o ko kula ko kono bak men seta sanji mondi ay woke di yala le APRC party o kono bi nafta ka men kacha anum fam men fam e kacha ko fam be kumandi wala mo kuma kan wala men yalon ko lel buka president koto Jammeh bulu kabintu mo menna diamuta num kula men yalon ko wolel be ke kan Gambia bari fanan kayta ndiko apparaître le pour ka silolo ni kana Gambia banko kam Foday ngalon kachake nun nga kontondro ke nun komando lafta dorom pour jama mol la fahamro kamba isa fo jibe lali anin la mo lali mol men yalon ko tuma do bate melom isa fo mole jumale mu Foday Chorr edunda politiko ko ne nyaadi le anin ini APRC ni president ko to jamme fo nyo soto nyame bismillah Foday be dan la do resi kam sikati domande isa ji la mo rosi sonia.
Okay, Abaraka Bake, thank you very much. Follow me mol be konton nakotake. Kafo assalamu alaikum. Kam fo ikom rubu ka fo lino barin se domandi fo no drong. Wolom ka itandi mol la konto Foday Chorr leti. Wulu ta satel do ka fudami kombolamen. Mfa wulu ta satel do ka fudami foni block. Tata karamboto kombolamen, both primary and high school. St. Peter's Primary and High School. Kabrim jita karamoto nga karandiro kele as unqualified teacher in 1987. Tata Gambia College, 88, graduate in 1990. Nga karandiro ke with Catholic Mission in various schools. Barimeta St. Peter's Park. Natata Daslame, Mgota de Yankee, Kita Senior Master St. John's in Block. Block, then I picked up another job working at the Daily Observer as news editor. Coming to me came as an accident, but Alhamdulillah, that's life. Then from Daily Observer, Nata Angalter. That's Foday. Niwo bota je APRC ko APRC nga sotonya dele. Nana politics start at a very early age, Kabrinkata school. I was a member of Moja, Movement of Justice in Africa, Gambia section. Although I was very young, a high school, and I was working with my colleagues, my friends, and of course, because at the time, during our field, the government Mimbinunje, all PPP man secondary, ilas tamandir nyaman satisfied. I don't want to go into the nitty-gritty of Moja, but I just want to tell you, Konga Kumasi was at school. And in Kabrimbe school, as a pupil at the high school, I was involved, and in Kabrimbe Gambia College, as a student, I was also involved in student politics. I was also elected as the chairman of the main union, because we have a sub-union at Gambia College, and all the campus combined, that is Brikama and Banjul, were placed. We call it main union. I was the chairman of the student main union at the time. And I learned a lot. I was never a full-time PPP, but at least I've been in PPP, originally that are in the PPP. But Mandatala Obeto, but among Fulangol Kono, youngsters in Lamin, I was the first person a platform with a political rally address at the age of 26. With Jamano, it was something because PPP Mandala Jamano, Nimang ta above 30 kata or 40. Ibuka wo opportunities book and but near I didn't know at the time, probably Chikole attend. And then I'll attend to Otobakel. APRC, before the APRC, there was a coup d'etat led by Gambian forces. The Gambian forces, mini coup d'etat, they named themselves as Armed Forces Provisional Ruling Council. That provisional, ibijele for what? In Abujeto. Okay, if Fanny Sasinunko, Ilakatala Jefo, Sanjinan, but Cabriofo, Bankudimol Hani, Sanjinano, Siano, Nata Itata, Banco Bimini, Ulko is Sanjifla. So Sanjinano con Miros of the Puka Fallen Dulcano, and in Cafenol Dul Samanami, and also kept Fentim below, but Bankudimol Hani. So, in as much as he told them the Mansakundata symbol, which is illegal at the time, they are kind of like legitimized. Yakele, Aketa Kutimi Alonko, Bankudimol Sontala, Cabrini, Moluninka, Sanji Fuloki. O Sanji Fulokono, you mean for Kobe, Willet Dadala, Purkajik, Oika Fentimin Beloring, Najela Koyela, Fonkol Tim Mandili. la hidol timmandil
surtout
because wo kono len e constitution o londi mimu 1997 constitution ti e commission o londi le to convince ka hitandi banku dingol la mine be keri no e wara jamano mimu tinyaro tino ani nyanta mun karannan pour asifa kana te kotake e wol be londi le murta kotake inata e fellondi mine man taran banko kan an independent provisional independent electoral commission
so
ni constitutional law unata feeling kata independent IECT that is independent electoral commission o fana yola hidol dule o fana londi e fenjama londi banko ko sanji flow kono min kam to establishing a university television an airport an international airport other infrastructural development where tinna mo nata jiko soto fana nata miro ke ko bari ko sanji fulale soto andu ngala hidol di bo fandi sanji flow ni ba sindila inata ji a political party londi
so basically ninga tarangi faham you know ibe me explain kang non ka fole ninge faham ibe men senedi kang wala mu APRC ye nyabo ko lelke at that time that's how you associated with the party all the Fenko is that do I get that right
so ni yo nyabo ko minke wala tinna kabriye APRC londi because ntolbe nun jele to support the revolution because kufla le bije molma min faham coup d'etat is an act of changing a government kamanta kunda bondi symbol pari min keta coup d'etat min sama wolom falindrot o falindrot babul ka fole revolution change so what falindro ngole tola July 22nd so I was also a member of the July 22nd youth movement at the time and also youth action group so ngol advocate for ngol establish covering APRC nata I become one of those people advocating for the establishment of APRC. So Momon Bulo Dundiji, 29 years of this year, APRC. Momon Bulo Mrakansamba Fongola on consent Lom Fongolta. It was established on the 9th of July, 1996.
Wow. You know, Mr.
So
Chorr.
Molka confusely. APRC was not found on the 22nd of July. 22nd of July was a takeover. And the takeover, the changes, I mean, someone I'm following law. We named the changes into July 22nd Revolution.
So
APRC, Kabring Bina transition or Bina Ban, we set up a party and it was established on the 9th of July 1996. Then last July 22nd, the celebration of Konala, we call Kon. You asked me one about 29 years of my life. At the time I was 32 years, so Moma Satanya Keranyame.
Mr. Chorr, I think ye simfalmenta ela baluo kono anyabo warda bake yada dement blajang ye karandiro ke koya pe nyameng inata doko ke daily observer and in black kotongol ela kafo fanang APRC fanang kono and in the fact that itententele kalo patio fe ka fasa sanji muang anin konondo I think ko fanang munyabo kubalati lafa ke nyininga menna beyond the early stages of the formation of the party, ngaje party onata kujamalu keta basically, sanji morning kono kono, or let's say sanji morning fulafon kono jamela maralo kono. What is it about APRC that beatina ela kano APRC yasembe munala munatina sanji morning feng ya beke party kono you still continue to be loyal to the party. If you can address that quickly, then I would appreciate that, and then we can go into the substantive issues.
Yeah, Nimba address you have to allow me to say this because Mulafta Munuma Lonko Bela Molesa farm. Yade Nyominkula Kilo Waterback. Hadamadingo. Nia Jenka history kareka from Stuaro. Prunsalo Mune Tambita. Memin Konani Soma Balulena. But Alami Yenda, I send it into Lavoli into New Order. Dafeng fata olom hakilo hakilo nyanda ole tala ngamira kende ni ngamira nga dalilo ken namiro o dalilo mbe ole tala ka kitio tela kalon ko nyine betata nyimam betea son dela bolwo kono PPP la jamano man sakunda ka tama nyami ni ko president jawara lama ne man ka farkala ate as a person betata bar man sakunda tamando afutata dulal to dami yalon ka parkasita bulle completely wayatinna Molka min for Hadamadi wala nyanto atinyata num banko kam mul malum parce que man radio soto no mi yalon ka kaftan birikam na jambata kadam birikam television o tembulun se min long internet mo futana Gambia malo num so aketa mole we were living in dark mi dibole economy bari o kilim flanjango jawra la man kunda tata fudulatu dami yalon mol ka fole num ko drought le atina jamin ketanu bari wodam mante rampant corruption high rampant of corruption atina na economy wala na fngoti aboital no flat completely man even economists soto no man sakunda man fero soto pour ka wulini inata World Bank and IMF le samana to introduce what they call ERP economic recovery program wala bandula they have a program called a program for sustainable development janiwo binala in kudeta nyina o sustainable program for sustainable development introduce ka national banko sort of family min soto ke privatize o time le jiwa fo ka fo o time le GPMB ka wafi o time le NTC wafita National Trading Corporation ol kujamal wala wafo bina wato minna ko ya keta banko kan labango mol ka ranne kamano sang musol ka dinwol bambu ko kono e ka rangi ka muso dete fa dinwo fata ko kono ma kalamta ko dinwo fata ko just ka pour ka mani poti woro soto pour se balumen ni ma fo mi alon ka ajele a balule ibamre ko nene mon soto ol human right violation coup d'etat manque force coup d'etat in 1994 81 coup d'etat ketale president jawra ni Angleterre man sakunda molle samane ka fo SID inata Gambia mofula very heavy weapons ye molle fa ka dul tika ke di Senegal le ke fa selo kono dami yalonko ye mol soronje fataji ulna kusi falso president jawara la PPP la jamano ku jamalle ke tamia nan tol wato mbe funding ke yari yelol be bamba man la fala so kabrim coup d'etat keta bot ntol me mo mojati NCP opposition wuli amra nunko coup d'etat kete tolle everybody embrace it so ntol be nga embrace bari mi yatinnan ye nyabo fon keta je wolom ye la hidol min di ye wolle timmandi mbe talara je sanji fula mbe nyene kala yo timmandi ni mo timmandi anda kuke mi yalon ko imaja tilimbale obviously nyanta jemuta so la philosophy ila miro ila fero ila tamandirnya anila man sakundalo nia wala tinna ngemuta.
Okay, so Mr. Chorr, Ebrima bina be nyininkala, bari lafa dorong kamen jolong, then Ebrima can come. Obviously, ngajele ko kujamal len fanan kera sanji mo nim fula kono, jamela maralo kono.
Yes.
Ye PPP ma ani ma menu keku meniat na fo. Deta keda revolution onata ikafuta party APRC party kang and all of that. Bari ngajele fanan ko jame fanan maralo kono, kujamal len fanan kera. You know, e kany menu be foten jin mu kulete me yalon ko modol safo no le ko wonyon ku kilingol wolel fana murtana present ko to jamela maralo kono fan tuma do baado fan mo safo fan ko wole fan menu keta ala maralo kono wole fan wajabita katambi e kany men be fo about president jawara la mansakundama you know coming TRRC e fenjamal el fintindi men yalon ko you know ay mo jamalu jakhali ay mo jamalu dew kamolu fa kamolu yemandi kamolu tajirinti ake tilimbalia a lot of things. I don't know, you know, nim ite moy roke nyin cool bella, yen cool ta ye be moy. I don't know, you know, why do you still stand with somebody me alonko? Atele yen nyon kusifal be kan wala atela, tumiro ya be la atela, même president Kodro Jammeh. Why are you still loyal to APRC? I can understand the beginning. You know, we were all young and youthful. You expressed that they expressed a vision that resonated with you at the time. Manamila Jerinya was someone. But in Munatina, all this while you still, you know, decide to stand by an APRC party me alonko, you know, yenyi nyon tumiro ni nyin kukarangol belal.
Nfally ya baraka bake woni nin karo kumata bake bari mbe kaza ke kan nimban ka kangolla wato do bijin ka tubaw kan fana do man din keje lafta prunga kumo dol fana sene andi saje lamoy lal fana salon sanji mo nim fula president jawra la man sakunda yemim fo TRRC min fo ko mo fal keta de ngam keta de lafta prunga fo sene ya kolon e kanole la tumaro an allegation ko nyine keta la wato kon and wo allegation on ni wo tumarol fota kisikisi pundal to mi ya lon ko ye londe le pour ka kisikisi ro ke ka to nyalon po wonde wolom commission o mi an ko to nyalon So wo commission oni bunda nani fo saba bunda nani leba follow ulon ka tonya londi from the truth reparation wala ning ayatara ko tonya lo ta fa kese lo ta ngalo muneketa pour que molu ke jusol nyabu pour mbenga ke kelendi the other one waro munti reconciliation. So at the moment commission on mantara balu ngati je ko tek see is out.
Ela doko ke ya kumpa ela doko
so ning
kono
atara kon sonte min fo tonya lom mbe establish la dame wolom loi be tarla dame ka itandi ko nyimmin fota information o waran kibaro min data ni nyimu tonyalti nyimman ke tonyal ni do tumirol o janne wo be kala ko loi ba londila fango fi min bota je do mbajela ko mu tumurolti e kanwala andu wodi amo kono mbele bije be nga kamt andu be commission of lamoyle there is a lot of allegation on minuketa wol mu conspiracy let kariko Ebrima Sonko ko Foday Chorr ko Nfally Fadera itanyinki. So we'll be able to me unless you're clear, you will still treat them as information mini along their allegations or tomorrow. Bari kela la jadi. Fali mansakunda sambo mandia. Andu mansakunda sultu momi along kolum nyaton koti. Ika act President Jawara, President Jammeh Alin San Baro, watu do bije ika ku dolke yamaro ika wala soto mi yalonko yamar kuma yari min bota mol min marata tankola ani mol min ye londo soto ka itandi ko nyinsina ku samana ko president inyante la symbole tala pour kany because min landa la tabulo kan am keline modulu bije i wulita koma e kudoke president o ma kalamta yala president la because president o man na kuma foje mol se bulo chodi ya foko kabrin nyinketa de aya kalamtala amam fem fana mu chodurol tani tumaro so on kam info jangolom ndete sila janga foko o kusi fal men kata jawra la man sakunda ta manke ya jamelo man sakunda because nte ofula anu ngamo le TRRC min fota anu tarula blako min be fota TRRC abe mbuliyal barim fanate lola jam mo fanate mte sondi lako min be fota TRRC fana mutonya ani oto nyanta molekela num man sakunda manyana TRRC jela ko president o mimbe siring waram political party o min ganeta wole tamu TRRC pari molle TRRC e fantati e manna ke 24 ka ke revenge wolon kanyobe waran ka julojo because TRRC libe lola watu minna yemune follow ko is going to be a killer blow for APRC wala be kala kurpeño mi an ko be APRC fala podi wala ne TRRC lo bang hani pulanjango TRRC on anyata credibility min sotola it is that coming across bla more than TRRC kono ndela miro to najero wala ngoti ul manya na talanu ka kanta TRRC ka because wole personal vendetta e penne soto mi yalonko amandi president Jammeh la man sokunda tamandro alim president Jammeh fango so ni mo sifate pour aller tonya tita ye mol fana samana min yalonko woli sita le la kulu kapunyo ela sembota ela ferro ni la milan iko man sakunda mole carte famille mo man sakunda riba data fo mol fata je yol samane ko alna alia so wala the credibility is dented the last bit of it the lead council mi ya ko wole marta luwala long o fongona ta itandi mo lako ate nyinte dalil la kam because alafta fanne farmantandi ala pour que lo kapala soni so wala tinna akoliata le pour que kuma fudi bari tonyalom dolla man sakunda jamano kudol le keta mini alonko aida ninga long fa sahata nga fundina ko al hako bondi because mu hada madi man timma wara nga sene andi control manyike ko tumaro le sembo warta me mutonya ngala jero.
Okay, Ebrima, ngalo nyini ngarbe bulu, but I just wanted to point out, Mr. Chorr, you know, TRRC ngamira mbese d'accord no loko doku kendeleke mollel benu nje men yalon ko you know mo buñaari mbalu men yalon ko ya katabake kaji ko de konti boro soto koy fonga ya fanya mo jamal na TRRC ye kangola president kotola anim president anala mansakunda jamalu be je satoro ke kalole kan so tumando bato fajan nimbe jemme tamoyla e sultan selano wala at least TRRC ala nyama. But Ebrima, I'm sure you have a question for Mr. Chorr.
Fale abaraka bake Mr. Chorr abaraka bake fanang. Follow la famim follow janbe question on yin kala walam. You know, yeah, kabrin jawra la mansakunda boyda kabrin APRC natanang you come follow me for or part of the first things I mean follow me ndiko your commissioner lole including algali commissioner mi alon ko puruka jawra la mansakunda tamandir nyaka kisi ko min tata nyama anen mil manta nyama fana anu ngal ne fana ku follow jamina la mansakunda minke kabina na wolong comme coup d'etat around the world yo luani yo follow suspend follow so kabir luani suspend so lua mantareje. So a politician or me and Mansakunda, you all move arrest ye muta, ye dol sorong, ye dol bute, what continue na for Kabiri November 11 for soldier for another far. So within that period, Kabiri continued Mansakunda to make the point that Kujama Ketaji, right? So your commissioner for law to indict a lot of what was happening during Jawara time. But it seems like to me, what I'm hearing is war is something me alonko ite yo cemento ya bakel because umu kukendo in the sense of commissioner millo ani wole doko minke specifically womu kuleti mi alonko ya cool sinani molmale but by TRRC wona nang TRRC fanang loda ka similar doko leke and not only TRRC and commission of inquiry because jambela cool anala mansakunda manke TRRC damat I think what it don kanyina wala commission of inquiry fanang loda mi alonko atandi molako na nafu lolo anin na resources all mansakunda e tamane nyar the same way ko jawara wado fana kata nyame. So I was just curious if you can tell me quickly ko between Nintu Munadna then it was acceptable for them to do that and then sign you know me alonko nin commissioner me alonko ngebel on the puruka jambela mansakunda tamandrinya in terms of human rights violation and ala molla resources fana maneta nyame that is not okay but out of the hundreds of people me dogo ko institutional more than GWJ because all about lando then all dogo ni man. I was just curious for you to talk to us about that briefly.
Ebrima Barakabake. Some of the things that you aiming for, like I also say, some of them are opinions, but love to fene itandile me alonko, love to je ya senea. Because ntenga je wole nyama andunga lonja kila wenya. Commissioner Millota President APRC la period la. And Commissioner Millota the coalition government 2017 Canada are completely different and the way they set them up. And the objectives and terms of reference mean dealer, they differ.
Yeah,
they will obviously differ because times differ.
Before you continue, the basis for all of their establishment, you will be a low nyaming, and so establish no ko luale londi. Nyulman ke doron ko mansakunda sitala foko nga esa fale tombom baba ja wala ami ben sudan wala tombom project. No, lua by an act of statute. Wole nyul londi ko ebe tamandi la nyaming ebe sembo min sotola. In fact, I powerful min dealer anila recommendation of luale. So everything that they've done is within the confines of statutory powers. Lua sembo min dealer doko mold. So, but if you're making it seem like ko nyul loda nyame no, ya de metal luale londi. Coalition government fananta luale ha londi, luale commission of inquiry londi, commission loda luale ha londi. You get what I'm saying?
Maybe you think I did not hear. Maybe you think I did not hear what you said. I heard it clearly. I was just going to interrupt. I was going to explain all that.
Yeah, no, sorry for the interruption. I just quickly wanted to highlight that. Yes.
Don't worry about that. Yes. Let me even make it clear like this. When the APRC came, they suspended the constitution.
Yes.
All right? They were working on decree, which is completely different from when the coalition government came because they found already a constitution that they were working on. So the establishment of the APRC commission is dictated by decrees and also terms of reference put across. Nkami itandi wolom commission olota bari niya jibe wolota minna minube commission okon were completely neutral. Some of them are not even from the country. Bari Gabriela Fox finding kafa pareta moli eje to an instant from utumo ikakele in public, but they decided to stop it ka public because it's affecting the society and people minibije dingol and other people minibije for Gabriel Fox finding suffer. Gabriel results sambanang ya dealer. They looked at it. Inenta akla dami acted the rest ya bulaje. Ya landi. They acted on it. Wala nanko. Ye mol promise min na ya kele. Even if at all. Ntul nga balanda soto je waranga hello jele ko ye minkede i boyd lato je. Bari nyanta minkele ya kele. Ko ya bang. Nkawle yitandi. Ni nata nan to the Jammeh Commission and in TRRC, an act of parliament le ofana londi.
Yes.
I never dispute that. Nka min folom, nko molu minu bije, ye minu keje, wole atinna idented the credibility of the commission. Because he killing now jibentela jero. Wole personal against President Jammeh and the APRC government. So it could have been better if module Kijemini could they are neutral. Or even if the chairperson like came from somebody independent completely from outside the Gambia or so. But momoni bulo nyalam andu we chant jintola prundol fananga foko. It wasn't very independent because no commission members they were very close relatives, very close family members to the opposition that made of the Minimum Commission on established. But the fact that I never said they are not established by an act of law. All the commissions are established by act of law, but they lack credibility. And you will not disagree with me because otherwise we wouldn't have a commission into a commission with regards to Jammeh Commission.
Quick question. A quick question. Adila Falila prior continue. Would you have if not only left because APRC Allah argument on for a very long time. Kabrim Commission on Loader. By the way, I thought I just would say TRRC. So I was one of the backroom staff there. So could you be doing a kalamuta bakele, and nungal lefananko in APRC started for kanila, nim ole doko kejel investigation or kejel. So no kujama lefanan long. But just to say that, just to put that out there, I'm not prejudiced. But I just want to quickly say that Niatara Molmiya Lonko, if the outcome actually left the Molmiya involved TRRC, and you consider those people call well and they are neutral, and ila recommendation will not offend, would the reception have been different to you people, APRC members?
Yalong Kamitandi, Itemamu Bagnum staff. You're doing a magnificent job at the back. But the person who is at the front, more coming every day, ala status as a lead council, and in Yindo ala status as chairperson. Every status here role lesser, and no role. I functions less duties and functions lesser in Yantaminke. So if where those roles conflict each other and it will form personal things coming, that's where it casts doubt over the people's mind. And they work at a dong, more right totally to make their own prediction and all their either assumptions. I'll tell me become I'll be minking I'll tell you alone. But I can also tell you Wolum Kudini Atarako and until coming for APRC, we didn't unanimously come at one place and said, don't be found they are not APRC. Like individual opinion they call express on TRRC Tamatanyami. Like you see somebody, me alonko, example killing drone dealer. He's been detained for 3 years. Ika Mariana, Amari Nata Akoha Jamel Kong Nfally Yabula is free, is walking. Who has admitted the Foday Chorr admit contelling Nfally. Right? Until it's at a Karikungatangafa. You Kabraba Fole, you are not insane. You are professionally trained. So you don't have Paiteko, Inteleco, Nanyimfa. So as a result, left a mate and Lawolom. Don't find a duty to make our analysis about that person. Minko Karikong and Yimfa. So we will verify no lanyade Lawolom. It has to go to law. I investigate. Nite Conte, come example killing the Janibita Fadera. Near Mola Kulo Urinam from all Yundum. Inate ba president Lambella Moikako, Madame follow Uri, Monkulu Taraji. Datanga Dulado Uri, a Kulo Letaraji. Alioke Kulo Taraji. How can we establish Kulo Mokulo? We have to come out. Yeah, we have to come out and have the machines and everything. Beyond reasonable but beyond reasonable doubt, Kulo Leti. Yadi, and Untolma was sort of. Fungata banku dole to prungata on proof.
But you cannot be a judge in your own case.
No, Sonko Joma ke jaranko today hakilo water bakele. I'm giving you a scenario.
Mr. Chorr, and then I also agree with you. The best way to know what really happened would be accountability. Sort of Yahya Jammeh Murnang, Tumando Bato, and Mokoto Menalonko, Tumiro Lebela. You know, they have their day in court. But Mr. Chorr,
we'll come to that. We'll come to that because we'll come to that. We'll come to that.
APRC Nina Mala. APRC 2016 kana kabula 2025 la. Ngaje ko APRC nimkumu mosafo APRC fula lebe kering nyaton ka fula lebala bari luwa nyakoto APRC killing wala so sotono lafte yafo moli muneketa fo tala sotota ani wali sotota pati okono ani kobel tembo mendoten right now.
Right. Konga fo nyaming APRC belola wato min nte ba kono sanji mo wanin kononto. So to ninga na miro na longo ningo fo tamole bulletproof nga kibaro mindila. The information I gave them, they can use that as authentic information to make a well informed judgment. APRC Kabringa Register, the founder of the APRC is Yahya Jammeh, who lost their Minyanoma 1997 constitutional. Now, constitution APRC constitutional, we are established that and register. The registration certificate given to President Jammeh, I particularly on their mole invite. But often I constitutional if you are members full Katamanyami. So to cut the long story short, it is very right. There's only one registered APRC legally.
Yes.
So Minketa Kabring circumstances play situation change. The way and manner President Jammeh left the country, and the fact that being ruling for 20 years and you lose election, completely there is going to be a disruption in the structures and everything. But Kabriwo Beket of Atambita, I can tell you this. More APRs in coal were threatened. We faced a lot of things. If you got green from people do not understand because another topic. The coalition government were only interested to see Jammeh go, but they did not put anything in place to see to it that society is put in place.
Nga kafufula Gambia meni alon ko ke fan commande APRC sai IEC APRC killing na sude and it looks like wole mu Fabakar Tombo Njata APRC men nyaton ka so la faka meninga in practical terms meaning APRC la faka dadum patio kona atolla APRC karo. How are you going to do that when there is only one legally recognized APRC? And as things are right now, come to Fabakar Tombo Njata men nyaton ka nimbi karte fa okata sato la ko belara nyadi la albita political party kutole lola bang fo albekele nyadi or you're going to contest on the APRC.
No, the last time we did it and we contested as independent candidate, but everybody knew that we are the APRC not to alliance. That's also was legal. We didn't do a wrong thing. We contested as independent. And then the same thing is also possible. Akamunta la kodrong, nyinto mu senility, nyinto mu mafuj. You understand? Oh, Niko Bakari, Iko Jalang. Jalang Bakari long jalan, jalan nom Bakari. But bondi nyoto wolom APRC kabrin woketa karafarole APRC disu Fabakar la ya karafala o karafalo kono e TCD bake kamol kafunan ka kilimote which is very true momanya no so but ni woketa it doesn't mean the need kafo karafayma o ni telon kafo nyaton koti hani President Jammeh bi nunje banko kan as leader ning aya decide ko he is going to take the whole party to join another party. Unyanta just as easy as anything. Media separation of samana. Ntulndene Fabakari monene malanyat unkaya so because ya karafala le mol sonta ko miya karafala ulam the legitimate elected leader. And we can understand kona circumstance le ko lafta wala explain la bariyon kuntum batonga jebulaje. Yeah. Kabiri woketa. Sa minna ta ke wolom femman nan separate for covering MPP loader as a legitimate party. In Tul Taraje as a legitimate party. MPP la nyatonko it president miyentol bondi man sayato ni ko nga kafuika. It's not a crime. It had happened. Even APRC in alliance with NAT, with NCP. But in Munibiji, APRC did not jump and did it. It's Italy Akacha looking at what is the best interest of the country and the party. Ninjun Fana lafta Purka alliance with us. It was also better. It only in the Nyaton call because the executive powers deal to discuss. But to take the whole party, I thought it was not that easy. It should have gone on to an extraordinary Congress to get the consent of everybody rather than a mere consultation, which was even done in a short period. 1, 2, do you take me to a Congress when I don't even know why to a coalition, when I don't know what are the agreement in the coalition? Today, Molbe Falai Bafalako, UN, AU, Ninu, agree to Aman sign. We don't even know NPP and APRC agree in order to become, so that it become legally binding and official. What they did was all informal. If you go to the IEC, you only find the presidential candidate that was that contested in 2021 was just nominated by MPP. Nowhere they said MPP APRC alliance. So it wasn't an alliance formal. It was an informal one, which is done. And as a political party of APRC magnitude, you want us to agree to go and do an alliance with a political party without nothing signed. They went and discussed this. We came back. They called a press conference. I told journalists, they are not going to even tell the members what is the agreement between them and the MPP. They are not even telling you, the journalists, because they don't want people to see black holes. And of course, that is why they should tell us so that black hole ni loops hole for the interest of the country and the interest of our party. But they refuse to do that. So they decided to go. So until we Manson Kata, we are still APRC. Moment expel, moment buy, Mampenke. We didn't bring the party to disrupt. We decided we are not going with bar. We call ourselves no to alliance with MPP. That's what we call ourselves. So now tell me, legally, what stopped me still being an APRC party? Fabakari Fanama, Foday Chorr Barantale, Wotunga dismissal. IEC did not get any letter of my dismissal. It did not also get the dismissal of the other fraction. They call us fraction. You journalists call us fraction. You did mathematics. You did maths. What is a whole? A whole is the full. So new whole that are to the half. What is the other half? Fraction. The other half, fraction. So the one that goes to the MPP, they are fraction. You don't call them fraction, you call them APRC. Call them APRC fraction.
What do you have to do?
I think that's a fair point. I can agree to that. I think that's a fair point.
But they only call us fraction and don't call Fabakari fraction. When they are a fraction, they are not a whole. And secondly,
No, but Matunga Tenteng, because we have a lot to discuss.
Okay.
I was going to say.
But do you agree that we are all fraction? Do you agree that we are all fraction? And do you understand why we divided?
No, I totally understand. I think it was more of an internal matter.
Issue.
We disagree with the leadership in terms of the direction, Yementa, and all of that. So, but
who should be the referee? Who should be the referee? As far as we are a registered body, who should be a referee to referees and make sure that have they done anything with APRC? No, because IEC said after APRC, it content about election or lose, it content about a pruntolga janja, but PPP has an issue like that, they solve it. NCP has a similar issue, they solve it. APRC honey, because we symbol if we are united.
But to their credit, APRC sifa jamaje banko jama kono ning falimu kata dorong because of the allegations but to the credit of the Gambia government and in the IEC the APRC bla for be lori move la singola I think
no Sonko, I will disagree comment second one sembo sir
no iman sembo
funny like funny suspend that's
what I'm saying ngol jila kata banko jamal to man second ya foko all this indictment mimi yang APRC say Yahya Jammeh akele I party jamal fa kabana 1994
which one
but come on now
PPP.
Huh? No, he did not dissolve the PPP. He banned them.
That's what I'm saying. How
but he left the ban.
What I'm
but
saying
what are I put you for already anyway?
No, don't see it that way.
No, the point is, Mr. Chorr, is I told more experience. right? Allah Party NP is a legally registered political party in the Gambia. We can give
it is. Even at the time when PPP was suspended, they were legally registered. They were just suspended. They have a ban on them. That's all. But they were registered.
Chorr, lafta nga tenten domanding. Naraje ko after all this while, ko ya fanyame sanyi mo nimfeng yake APRC kono. You akam to ko ye party you are speaking with so much passion about the party. So, but naraje ko ita fo party nyaton ko nyina de bay. Any more ko by alial by party kono. But inate murundi nan kotake because I saw a press release announcing you're coming back. I think a couple of weeks ago or something. So lafa ke nyininga menna as follow isa fo mole muneketa. But if for somebody who spent so much of your life, you know, advocating, defending, and supporting APRC and Jammeh, how did you feel? But also, what does that say about Jammeh's leadership style? Mose wuli no drum, you know, in spite of the loyalty, membe ni mote ma yamarita yabai wonyama to embarrass them. What do you think about that?
It's not a fact; it's an opinion. And you are entitled to your opinion. What do you
mean by it's not a fact? Because
President Jammeh, as I say in the constitution, he is the only person who can hire and fire national executive members. That's the difference. More all I understand, and I can bring my constitution and tell you. But isn't let me
just highlight it. Jammeh Dama, him by himself, has the power to hire and fire members of APRC party.
He's the supreme leader.
You know why? When I said Jammeh, at the moment, he is the chairman and party leader. The constitution, when we go to Congress, we only elect a chairman and party leader. And the chairman and the party leader, the power is vested on him to appoint an executive. They are not elected. So for us, up till today, he is our chairman and party leader. So he can appoint me into a position in the national executive. And if my function does not such, he can dismiss me. But procedurally, he has to follow those due processes. The whole due processes man tama, then he uses his powers because constitutional power de la he appoint okay. And when he hire, I tell Fanai rights to the fire. Untola constitution wole biji me nanga Jammeh for present be ateluna party leader ni that the other fraction all ka fole Fabakar appointed all of them in their executive, and if you do anything the constitution give him power to Kabunti. Ask them, they will tell you. Bari batunga na ila question or answer.
Okay,
yes, I haven't even received a press a letter, or I haven't even I saw on social media and also an audio called Foday Chorr by APRC. So when that happened, I did not respond. I did not say anything because ngalone Nfally be caring kumalle photo mini along about Fuji. So I ain't katandile. That's my perception. I didn't see it as anti-assad. Minga tinanga nyimfo imba fola senea.
Munel photo mem fal photo tawoto.
I don't know. To be honest, I don't know. I don't want to lie to you. Ninga along, I would say it. But Hadamading, Modul BJ, they don't like your style. Modul BJ Katamanya Malafi. Modul BJ tomorrow. Dul BJ, you become vulnerable. You are present in the society. You become vulnerable. Either your lack of capacity or your having capacity. So obviously they will go and say things. And so he might work on that and later realize, look, I think this is what happened is not right. So let me change my decision. Ala decision no change. Hani alamanta talafang lata minna. Aka sama finna sama ayabai abuka pasokotek. So ikamo appointment. Yeah, bondi. So that's it. It was an internal thing and it's private. It's internal. I am back and I'm happy. Kabrim Botaje, I was a bit disappointed because all I'm party to me na understand, ngala organs will understand. I've put everything into it. So to come out and go in disappoint, but I am not angry. Because in comfort, I would have done something different. At that point in time, I could just go and join another political party and fine. So I would not be called back. But I decided to sit down and go, let me give the people a decision or sort of. They think about it. And when he has now decided anybody due to certain reason we expel you are welcome back into the party. And that is what we call reconciliation. And that's what we call reunion. So I'm really pleased that that happened. And one party la nyato talent. Hani atra party fulo minutata yes ani no ni nata na nyokang na Cairo because ninte buta no to alliance tata party do ni nyot nata they lose me already. So I'm really happy that he did that.
So alin Jammeh nyomo chokinyolo kakenyadile. How does communication with Jammeh happen at the level of the national executive and APRC as a party? Because it looks like he's still wielding a lot of influence in Alkakul Sambanyame. Alnala nyomo nyadile. Akal kolle bang aka moleki alkang aka saferole ke bang, how does it work?
Namra ni yanyi ni karam because he wanted ninjola le ni ngani na waram fulur waran jaran kol. Mba fule ko definitely in disappoint. But bari nyomi ko len mba jabila. What I'm trying communication was very difficult. Wala nang ko Radio Gambia, ka fa Radio Gambia, break ka fa Radio Combo because akadam brika madam Mali. But today it is the film be America. The film be Syrian Jandobe Gambia. So obviously this in the same vein that you and I are communicating. We communicate with Jammeh like that. Today the world is
the reason why I go because
it's a global village.
Jammeh be exile lakono. Mole mealonko clearly it looks like the Gambia government does not want him to talk, to interfere, quote unquote, in Gambian political kono. But if I'm ngalo no fana Jammeh fana mole mealonko, you know, malafika fa warale, but he's somebody mealonko because there was a time that he said he does not speak directly to any of you. Ako mol beje aka diamu ni menula aka kumol du menu bulu yena ya futandalma. You know, what to do after naraje fanang ala kacha ala communication nya fanan nara falling aka audio le record ke kiale wara fanga telephone ke ya play alia alla bangolto based on public testimony from people many along ko yeko nyin keso sorono at the time. So walatna I'm curious to know al nala communication for there is an open line of communication al ninja metema bang nale executive meeting sura kal join labang, you know, waka kenya dire ning Jammeh kuma sura la femme futan lalma as a national executive ko kenya men. That is what I wanted to get at.
Fadera, let me make this very clear. The way we communicate with President Jammeh at national executive remains at the national executive. We are not going to put that across. But what is important is there is a line of communication between us and our leader, and the communication is effective and is apparent, is clear, and is based on truth and mutual respect. But in the Gambia government never ever and does not have any powers. And we President Jammeh should not speak or communicate with people or involved in political dispensation on the country. Individual people perception mode. Konin Jammeh diamta ala diamo can spark something, but it's not a fact. President Jammeh, from the day that he was leaving this country, he has nowhere. There was nowhere in court, nowhere in the Supreme Court, the High Court, or anywhere. No rules. The National Assembly did not sit down to pass any laws to say the president should not speak to anybody or should not speak or involved in politics. So as a matter of fact,
understand. I'm really sorry to come in, but the government Gambia man sakunda fanam be dew kan nu kuma kangol le men ka bo bulunu sako waro men nu fango ngam ngolo nu karte fayo kam abe kuma kan kandol fala man sakunda dew tanu anu mo jamal fango ko akanyi manyal men ka kuma kon men fay amankor la ka fitna wulin andu ngaji le fango even yin sibiti tambila kanila when he was speaking ako niaje nga audio key because you know mbuka call keno kabona Equatorial Guinea kana Gambia. So you can see that at least there is some form of an official effort to ensure that Jammeh does not directly interfere. That's what I was also trying to get at. So if you can address that, but also, how often does he communicate with you guys? Is it weekly, monthly, or daily?
Every time he wants to. Every time he wants to. Wallahi. Personally, but he talks to he has that right. But please make that clear. President Jammeh does not say that he's not allowed to call from Equatorial Guinea. Honey, let's give it a better interpret. Sometimes a difficulty of network. A difficulties of network certainly. network, or sometimes, you're talking about a person who was privileged to everything at his disposal, but now he is going to get a Wi-Fi working, become a credit to be able to talk. Oh, electricity sometimes he will even be talking and people will call him. So the best way, messages like this, I record Kina. In fact, I've even heard people saying, this is AI. They don't even believe it. Tell them. But more based on cooling on Jammeto. Niwo Mario Minka Fate Jamelone, Nimu AI, Jame Kamante. Jamena ni be kumo fly ba interpret la. I have only manika kamala. I have only surwa kamala. Ni afo akafo ni ma fo akafo mawofo. Ndema mojo du mimbina Gambia audio bondi. Iko Jamele ni fo tenum by now afuntita na ba fulante o man kentela audit. I didn't say it.
So I tell him basically
yes. I tell him secondly, Moma stopped from Equatorial Guinea to communicate to anybody, or Amanke Kodesan, or even Gambia Mansakunda did not go to Equatorial, don't allow President Jammeh. No, they did not do that. Mokana Kangala Mansakundaka. Mansakunda allow duties and responsibilities to make sure that the Gambia is stable and peaceful. Its security should be paramount. So Nituli Adeko Foday Chorr, Nfally, Fadera or Ebrima, they audiolated or they talk publicly or they have written publicly. And what they have said will threaten the peace and stability. It is the duty of the government to come and approach me or say something. So President Jammeh also not ni atra ay kumalefo mi alanko, it will bring disrepute to the country. Mansakundala duties to rectify that. Momo was stopped. But when and where did President Jammeh say anything that will threaten the peace and stability of the country? One, ngami moy mol coming for olom kabrako nintenata karibe borilale. You see, these are political things and coming for on political platform. Module President Jammeh alejko, President Jammeh sojarol sotole, I fonko bual soto, I jinol soto. And me also is the head of state. Dumale sa extabrisco, President Jammeh buale soto, I jinol soto. But we talked about it abantata. President Jammeh once lengamoy ako karimu falolet. That hadamadingolom. Kabra butala nenemanke, anenemam President Baroneng. But ala last diamo left al Sambala also back as journalist. Ala fourth sector of ala diamo was to tell us how he left and why he left and went and had a self-imposed exile. The second one, I attended Molako, Mbinala, which anenema for. Mbinala November, among day for. The neighbor said the date. I monthly for. November Mbina. Then another Foko, Ali Lua guide, Alua Noma, Altra Lua Koto, Altelani na mo can I use to cause any issue and so on. Andung akonga ya misle. Gambian ol aning altolmi ya lonkali information. How do you interpret that statement? This is where he did not say, I am coming to go to State House straight away. He didn't say, he didn't say, president candidate. I'll have to say, what do we do as a nation?
You can understand Menka Mulisila. President Kotolamu, I can't also, I sembo soto. Ning akabe mura ng Gambia. And among la kachaning, Soneakono. Obviously, if he's going to force his way to come, there are chances that fitness will no okono. I think that is what Woleka Moldo. But quickly, Ebrima, I don't know whether you have a question, but what I wanted to ask Mr. Chorr, Wolemu Allah Patio Kuhanibi, as in connection to Allah communication with Jammeh. Who I know Ngala ni Adomandingo Male. But is it the case that Comenali decision or file kachata what you have to go back to him for approval? He has a final say on things. How does it work? Do you guys have any form of autonomy or independence? Because you one day, then Mosafu Atolu Nafata Atola, Kadninga decision or Baker Jamelabulu. How does that work at the level of the party in terms of decision making?
You just want to pick up what the people say because Jammeh dictates the affairs in the party. That's not true. That's what I want to make very clear. It's not true. Yeah.
Okay. So,
like I said, let me answer your question. Like you rightly said.
At what point?
Yeah.
To follow up from that, at what point did you come to find out personally, but also as a party, that Jammeh is going to make this announcement that he's going to come in November? Was it discussed at the level of your
as a party? President Jammeh communicates to either his admin secretary, the secretary general of the party, the admin secretary, or the party deputy party leader, as the interim leader. I can communicate with, and then when executive meeting command visit and discuss issues and agree to it. So in the case of coming, ala executive command like inform call the people for me. I have a pronouncement. He didn't tell me, he didn't tell anybody. He just recorded what he recorded and said, call the party militant, everybody. I have a pronouncement. Kabringa ukefa pareta, molu nata, ala audio deal, akwe ala play, wolum pronouncement. Molu ila moy. There's nothing wrong with that.
Guys, as a party, there was no prior consultation, no prior discussion.
I didn't say that. No, I didn't say that. No, there are information. And I want to say this because you are a journalist and you have attended higher institution where you know the importance of information and information dissemination. There are certain information that is disseminated in the executive. It is only for the executive consumption.
Mr.
Discourse. Yeah. No, let me finish. Near discourse. Then what is there for the public go to the public.
APRC alla executive Alinjamme yala kankularo ko kachale bang janaba kankula.
Yes.
Did you discuss with him that he's coming?
Yeah, he will discuss it with us. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
No, did you actually discuss it in this case?
Yeah.
Alinjamme ako sida la liya kacha alialo nenu jannin kankularo be kela ko jambe be nyina kankulala ko abinale in November.
What is the definition of yes? Well, from
Okay. Okay. All right. So that's interesting because it's at the center of a relationship with Jammeh, whether he's just a one-man show and just there carefully used.
I have, I've even preempted you before you even say it. Well, I'm going to welcome for Jammeh dictate what we do. You see, let me explain. And in an executive, it's a phone. Your role dealer. Lua FN dealer as the head of the executive to do certain things. This is where you discuss issues and you don't come to agreement. Now the power is vested on the leader to do a final thing.
Yes.
So in some instances, Jammeh does that. But many times, Jammeh is very good at consulting. And he does not say, go and do this. He said, I advise you to do this. I advise you, but you didn't listen to me. That is why these things happen. So people tend to take, well, on the Jamaba, they come back now, can we do this? They listen to his advice. Jammeh never said, this is going to happen, and in my capacity as a person, is a person who listens, and he wants you to convince him, Fadera, I don't know whether you got the opportunity to sit with this man and talk with him. People painted him different. But he's a very intelligent person. He's a very good listener. And sometimes he knew where he has gone wrong and he corrected. If Jammeh knew certain people, and he would not have even given them to be cleaners. But
okay. And then you also said sometimes when you talk to him personally. Okay. And then you also mentioned that Ning Alonko Alanjurta, he corrects himself. Do you think Jammeh will ever apologize for all the allegations of torture, human rights violation, Farol, and many Alonko will tumiro lakam?
You see, it's very easy to talk with you because you are intelligent. You didn't say that he has confirmed. We go, how can you apologize something that you have been alleged and it's not confirmed? If you have said, it has been established at the court of law. Well, I want to believe that he will own to his mistake. But as of now,
The
all that's been
TRRC
printed.
commission, Mr. Chorr.
Look, I did not say that it is not a commission. I never rule out the commission. The commission is not a court. It is a group of people that come together and listen to people who told them things, they tabulate it and say this is the report. The report has to go to another stage to make it authentic and become something more sustainable through the law. More can also. Either the Mansakundale Binajela ko Mbatudong, Mansakundale Binajela ko. Now information also to the Nineketa, they go and discuss in a different way. Yafuko, let's reconcile nga yamfanyo ngata, or they go to court. And Jammeh, nanata, amanke mutumia lekibenya fila kanne. He's not an ordinary person. Even if he comes at the airport, he will go wherever he's going. If the due process is followed, if they want him, they invite him, he comes. It's not about the law.
Mr. Chorr.
The finally Jammeh bala ni ya lonko constitutional ya tankawala. So
in an instance where he's taken to court, Yatra Yaboy, you think Jammeh has it in him to look at Gambians and apologize to us?
That's what I think.
Okay. So Ebrima, before you come in terms of Gambia Kankularo Menkako, he's coming in November. I want to understand why now, the timing. Why does he decide that now is the time that he wants to come back to Gambia? We are talking about 9-10 years later. And why now?
It's his personal decision.
So Munafalinta, a personal life or political or whatever, what do you think it's about?
I'm in England and you are in America and he's in Equatorial Guinea. Tell me how I can say that unless until I can
you are a national executive member of the APRC. You talk to Jammeh.
Nothing is wrong with Jammeh. He's well. He's fine.
I want to understand, since you guys, as you have said here, Alka Kuo Kajale, what Alia Kuo Kajale, Al Ninja Mefanaya Kuo Kajale. I want to understand in terms of Al Kacha Kono with him and Atul Damangol Tema. What is your understanding of the timing? Why now?
Because now I'm coming for it. It's meant to be now. Everything has been predestined. Let me tell you one thing. President Jammeh did not come out straight. Akumuleko minani lunkar. 8 years on me the homecoming of Jammeh. Because they want people to come out to rally because they knew he's popular. They used that influence because the homecoming in any mamo Jammeh. I can tell you this. And don't use the homecoming of Jammeh as a theme to organize a rally because I'm half on Tulia Canale. And people were disappointed. Another time also, Molbi Funtile Bafalako, Rosianol, in Infenke Diamtale, President Jammeh, he didn't say it. Alanga Tonya for 8 years. Sure. President Jammeh Diamokona, let me finish, let me learn. I will come back, inshallah, Ning Alasonda. Mina. So sign atelier along at drone. I cannot tell you, and national executive members cannot tell you why he chose November and why this time. What is wrong with that?
Okay, just to add on to that, I think in Dolby Sono Minna Olam Nindiko, Jammeh Manke
it's not an ordinary person.
Amanke ordinary person. The Jammeh is a former president of the Gambia. Gambia Mara for Sanji Muang and Nfally. So Hani saying it's on the way man Sonko. He's a major political player in the Gambia. I party sotala miyalanko kumare Gambia I most of miyalanko laftal. So we can consider that. So in Dolby Sono puruko for harmonyama. But kumare fanang purunga establish ko. Jambela Murung Gambia, Omanke Gambia Mansakuna da Malakodi. Well, it's perhaps Omo regional quality is even also an African issue. Because some of the allegations, Miyalonko, Yela, Kungafonyam, if one Savonia, the allegation da Malde until it's proven in court.
Exactly.
So, as a student of law, let me establish that. These are allegations. Right?
Thank you. It's a foreign, but they are very law student led. You should have been talking.
Just to contextualize this is to say that Jambela Muru Gambia. Jambe say come for Jambe bina Gambia drong. I think Onyama constitutional guard. No, Luati Jamie Jambe Garandi Kafuko Nana Gambia vital drong. I tell her you due process follow. No, Jambe sa single no as a single no airport. Yasika Yasama at the International Criminal Court. Lua Yolandi for some of the allegations that have been that he has been alleged against, especially in terms of crimes against humanity. So amanki equatorial dinner for the Mari. Banku Jambe a single loje, Miyalonko is within the the International Criminal Court Statute, which is called the Rome Statute, me International Criminal Court law. And a single law dawda, it based on most local arrest. The same way as in Hebrew, arrest nyameng. The same way modol jama miyalanko. It must signatory related to the Rome Statute. Banco miyalanko belari wokono. So
until I am convinced, can you tell me when was this passed? Was it passed by the International Criminal Court or was it passed by the Supreme Court of the Gambia or the High Court of the Gambia?
So let me break that down for you.
People are just telling me that IEC laws. IEC haven't, sorry, TRRC laws. No, TRRC laws. TRRC haven't got any laws. No laws.
TRRC
they are even not a court much more to have a law. So we'll have to mean it's very interesting because but maybe you know it. Can you tell me?
So the system of coming for international law or international rights law. And Gambia for most signatory and sign a co. Crimes or mialanko, they are crimes against humanity or they look like crimes against humanity. Maybe Nfally so facet no mandinke. Price so Gambia for double call kono. So woman jari kafuko ila bankola bodal. What if it's a dawda banko bank? The reason Jammeh besiring equatorial Guinea abe exile kanje because equatorial Guinea manke signatory to je. Muna na mansino Senegal, muna na mansino Ghana, muna na mansino Nigeria. Nyim banko doldo miya na mansino je. Wale o sabu. So nin Jammeh nar na Gambia government na ila doko da mateng. Bari ye duty sotole ani na obligation all around countries mi alonko they are signatories to this. Puruka make so Jammeh 1 year arrest, 2 ya samba loi bunda ita follow do ya arrest ko afuku kata faole no ito kele no ko yemi for don due process will be follow la. So Gambian man sa kunala ila responsibility lo ka make so ni mo ke dorong in international community be problem okono. But also just to make the point ko Jammeh la right long puruka say na Gambia mo man nyawta la blokon. But we cannot also equivocate that kafuko abe say na Gambia do and I see as an ordinary citizen. No.
Okay.
But I
Mr. Sonko, observation because the law be jabbing.
Yes.
Go for Supreme Court or the ICC court or the National Assembly of the Gambia. Did they pass any laws to say when President Jammeh comes or wherever at arrest? Has that been passed at the moment?
No, they did.
It is not. Yeah, fine. If that's not passed, I am happy. Ikadaming for International Criminal Court that we are signatory to that. But I'm coming to that. We are signatory. I clearly understand that it's either a convention or a treaty that has been agreed by member countries. When those treaties are agreed, they become international treaties. But then every individual country take those treaties back to their countries.
No, it's part of our law. No, let me explain to you. As a law, yes, it's actually part of our laws. International law is part and parcel of our laws. If you check the 1997 Constitution of the Gambia, international law is actually part of our law. So National Assembly don't need to. They've ratified that. Right? So maybe more to faham. But I'm sure Jammeh you all on are you faham? Me and Jammeh for 9 years a man in Gambia ko the expectation that in Jammeh natal drive I see la kanilala wanyama lua malakang. I don't think it works like that. But I just wanted to take your mind to that.
Yeah, Sonko, thank you very much. I'm not a law student. I'm not a law student, but love learning clear olum. As of now, even the ICC has not established, has not passed that. The IEC wanted some American citizens, or they have also said, but Israel Prime Minister, that anywhere he can be arrested. But I haven't heard those kind of pronouncements. But remember, it is signed by our countries. Then they become also looked into at the National Assembly to make it an act. Okay, which is to make it an act. In the case of President Jammeh, he is completely different from an ordinary person, because Feneyate Fana Sansang, Fuiso Fana Polo. So I don't know whether I'm wrong,
but Ebrima, I think Ebrima every country has the right to defend, promote, but also to enforce the Rome Statute. Nye ku keme alonko ya hadamadingolu lanyantolu soki in such a manner. But ita fana memem foka ngamera ngaje fananjele. There is no warrant for his arrest right now. I think basically that's what you are trying to get at. But say Mr. Chorr, ndela faki isabana ndamendo. Wole mu jamela nying audio quote hanisai. Ngajele ko ani mom pare je follow because ngajele ko commando nala faka communicate with APRC, the executive and the party. Ngajele wato do beje tumando bara ka kuma kangol lelsika ala molu bulu akoyko ala fata ni party dingol ma wala I audio deda janjam. But this is basically the first time ngaje I rally kumandi just to play an audio for them. The audio la atarana man mamera 20 minutes or 10 minutes. So la fake nyininga wala why the need to call a rally? You know, just to send an audio. Why didn't he just send that to your WhatsApp group atole janjam to APRC WhatsApp group kotongo la meni alonka wolel soto? Is this a way of him trying to show his political force or what? Why a rally? Just to send a 10 minutes audio?
Fadera, again, nkoy ni jaran ko le ñu ko sono ansano be mi fala hote kala ñent bari mi bije wolam. You should agree with me that there are many ways to kill a cat. There is no set formula to say this is how a party leader or political parties should communicate to each other or organize their program. You do it at what is your convenient. Mi ya lonko wole sone atalto and alto se wole keno. President Jammeh has an executive and the executive will think further and suggest to him. He wants the party militants to get this information. Originally, Jama Ikela sport meeting Dulke Marakisa, maybe you don't know Ika Dulke Lamin, but people felt Ninko President Jammeh has something to pronounce at this time. The turnout is going to be larger. So the best place is we go to Kanilai because there's a bigger place that we can do. And they followed due process. They went to the security authorities. They informed them. Everybody said yes. They went and did it. Iti amrakoni left in a compound, for example, Jerendi Wolia, or in a small bureau. It will not. People will be suffocated. There's going to be other issues, both security and health and safety issues. So we took it to a place where those who are able to transport themselves and can come. Nobody forced people. It was only said within 4 days. You see the number of people that come. That also is a litmus test, not for Jammeh, but for the executive to measure and know that still we got a big force mental coma. Even if people call us a fraction, we might probably be three quarter of the fraction of the APRC.
So
that also could be
it's a political
everything. It's everything. It's everything.
Okay.
No, that is coming from your mouth, but the listeners can take it anyhow.
Okay. So Mr. Chorr, you believe that Yahya Jammeh bina Gambia and ning fana ning atara ejikita ko abinale na atara falanta Gambia, what would happen?
I don't know. Let me answer your last question. I cannot preempt the future, and I cannot prophesy that this is what is going to happen. All that people are going to be saying is all based on assumption. And I want to try as much as possible in this very important issue. It's not a party issue. It's a national issue for me to preempt. There are people we voted and entrusted them our powers. It will find duties and responsibilities lesser. That is why I did not comment until I want to hear what comes from the government. Killing. Fulanjang. I trust Jammeh. So I would trust what he said. Don't mokana doubt fang nga trust leko I mean for abe okelale mandate long amole fonye bari November kabina abina and me fana convinced and nene manyim pronouncement. So there is hope that abina and unama nandefe that will be very detrimental to Atefongla personal prestige and our dignity, and also it will have an impact on the party. So the best thing is stick to what he said, even if it's gonna cost what. But
yes,
then,
you mentioned the government. The government said when he comes, he will be arrested, he will be investigated, and he will be put on trial. What do you have to say to that?
You cannot be the spokesperson for the government. Let me also say that.
No, but it's in a press release.
No. I'm telling you, because there are conflicting statements from government authorities. Probably they fail to understand what is their duties and functions.
Well, Ministry of Justice la letter of Nfally.
But we can rely on.
Okay.
Yes,
Let me come. The president himself, whenever he speaks, even if it is on a political, that is official. He's speaking. Atemanya na kala moti minka wulika diamu rek. Na mi ngomi podrong akadiamu Gambian kawala. Na te ko ha Gambian ko ha. Na ko hani Gambian ko hani. I will quote this mbala drong. Give me time. President was going on his tour, and he went to Sibanor and said, President Jammeh is a free person to come to his country. No law stop him. If you want to come and live as ordinary person, citizen, he's fine. 2 days later, 3 days, on law day, but Tambedu stood and told the public, not the president, that anybody who said President Jammeh can come here, you are fooling yourself. The president said it, but Tambedu minister told the president.
I'm talking about the statement that was released by the government, I think yesterday.
Allow me to finish. Allow me to finish, please. No. Explain it. Also, in as much as you are the host, I also have the right to be allowed to listen to it.
Okay.
Then he said, Atiko Ayolefo, it's sad. This time round, Manta Odol be called, let me quote this round, Kevin President Oyafo. The same thing at his holiday home. Ako, the president is free to come back, airport obey. But now he is answerable to what he said.
Yes.
And other things. A few days later, then a Minister of Information, one out of a statement in presidential statement, they differ. Today, or yesterday, we had a press release from Minister of Justice. Based on the interpretation of what is stated there, we cannot differ with what the Minister of Information said. But quickly, me clear President Jammeh is free to come back here anytime as a citizen. Femma stop no law, just stop for Kana. But also, he will be answerable to anything that he has been alleged. We heard that. Alafuntuli, Muntumale APRC Kolko, or President Jammeh himself, I'm not going to be answerable. They should be collected and calm, because this is a national issue and it involves security and other things. Any mess can bring dispute into the country that President Jammeh don't want, that Yahya Jammeh don't want, that Adama Barrow don't want, that Foday Chorr and all of us, Gambia, don't want anything like that. We want to continue with the traditional and continuous political stability in the country. So, ni President Jammeh announcement, you don't know what is going behind the scene with the executive, whether they're going to see the government or so. But we are not going to say that to anybody. So, did I answer your question? Are you satisfied with what I answered?
Yes, I am satisfied with it. But ila faka memfanam londi wala mko. Ntela karangoto je nga president wala kumaka on Dr. Sise la kumaka on statement on men beje. Yemeng emphasize wala mko, just like every other Gambian momo rise to the Cameroon. But what is true in Jammeh's case is that he's a wanted man in Gambia because fenko leldi ka fanya dile tumiro lel lari ngakang nin tumiro be lari kandum ni futata mansakunda is likely to arrest you. So la fa ke nyinin ka mena comme ya fa nyameng for ninga taranum malla fi fitna la Jammeh na should be negotiated with the government. Okay, but if Jammeh, as it looks like, because clearly what President Adama Barrow's statement made in the Wolamuko, he's not in talks with the government about his coming, at least because Barrow meant for Wolamuko, he's not coming. If he was going to come, and now what monumenti bring Abama Banda. Dr. Sisenyol Fanang ila statement made in the Wolamuko, basically, he's not in talks with the government. Do you think it's a good idea for him to force himself? Because Nanata, committed for Nyaming, it's likely that the government would arrest him, and the near arrest will finance fit no willing to know. So basically, Mr. Chorr, do you think it's a good idea for him to force his way to come?
I will not agree with you to say that he is forcing his way to come, because he did not discuss that with me or our executive, that he is forcing his way. He make a pronouncement that he is coming in September, in November. Like I said, there are some things that are concealed behind. You don't know what is happening. I don't know what's happening. Malanimi consultation. Do you understand? But what is best for the country?
President Barrow.
Yeah, President Barrow can say that, but then you don't also know in the next 24 hours what is going to happen, what is going to go on his text. You and I are talking now here.
Don't know what is going to happen in 24 hours. I think what
exactly. So,
what has happened?
There is nothing. No, wala nang kahit hindi la ko umbalal na musolika lafta kadiyamu nyane ngayon dial. Kanip right here. Lafta militan dila walam. Jaje jamela nyin na ko. Itol nga mo nyame kabina no we take it like that. Man sakunda mo. Inteni man sakunda. Jumale greater role so to play.
Man sakunda.
Lana man sakunda e min foko. Iya kaitandi mo la kayanto sukana. Onana rejine bekel. So la tuta nyanta ko fero landi nyame. Ye banku jele. Sometimes minority can be wrong, can be right. But the president of majority takes over. I'll tell you kumola because Malon watch Jamal program. This is very important. I want to put across. TRRC, Truth and Reconciliation Commission, and anyone follow Gambia. There are other atrocities in the sub-region everywhere. They were able to navigate until Ifutata Dami. Ntulu is now becoming something. I want you to understand that President Jammeh, politically, he is very relevant in this country. So, and he's very influential. Let me just learn. He's in Anyininka. If he's coming and not coming, it's not handled to the interest of the Gambia people and the peace and stability of the country. Something may happen that we wouldn't want. And we have gone too far a little bit because President Jawara and Samba from Bondi Independent to a point, Nfally and Samba to a point, Adam is also doing.
But Mr. Chorr,
we are going to put up laws that are going to be case laws. It is alone coming for law students. And if that happens, we then set precedent. And that precedent, when it happens, then every president will go through the same process.
Eko fit no memfo. Ninga atara coming President Jammeh and APRC malafi wewuli. What stopped them from negotiating with the government rather than him trying to make it look like he can force his way? But I just want to
No. Say you are making it look like you are saying that you are making it look like he never make it look like, and we didn't make it look like that.
No, but in Muko, I think what is clear is that he's not in talks with at least the President of the Republic. The statement from the ministry also makes it clear that when he comes, there would be repercussions. So Lafake Ninka Menna, as a party, Atola stands women. Ninga Yahya Jammeh Jira B. Gambia government arrest. What is your message to his supporters and the APRC?
I am not going to speak on behalf of the executive on that area because me Atina, you are asking a question
view of what should happen then.
That when President Jammeh comes to the Gambia
and he gets arrested, yes.
My personal opinion is going to be that's going to cause some disrepute in the country. That's my opinion.
How?
Like I said in my deliberation and stuff, that is how much influence he has and how relevant he is. And like I said, he's not an ordinary person called Mr. Sonko Yafunyami. Niba arrest lafana. If certain things BJ, it's all bonde abala. Few process kena arrest. So na nata jita airport ratata kanilai. Mansakunda ko yo anata la mantara abe Gambian. Mbatu wrong the example. Is that not possible? I G airport I talk kanilai. Is that not possible?
I think if the government is based on your memfo, Ninjambe Jida airport abe arrest la jela ati silo sota for kafuta kanilai.
But ni man na arrest jedu ngata kanilai. For example, man na okay.
But y'all understand the be speculation.
Well, you're only making your opinion. It's a common opinion. I'm making something.
Ntafonole ko asekenole asekebalianole komembole itandikanko ku jama beje manko endolma. But I just want to understand saying lafake nyininka mena. How do you think Jammeh is going to come? Kana Gambia. Abetila kulintila labang fabe modole talabang yata. How do you think he's gonna come? Because you know, it's I don't know. What is your sense of how he's gonna come to Gambia? Allah kachakono, what is your expectation of how
in the first place, I know it is not going to make sense to say he's going to walk from Equatorial Guinea to Gambia. Secondly, I don't think Jammeh has grown wings to fly and come and land in Kanilai.
But okay,
it's not possible. There is no river or sea port in Yundum. Then he's going to go to Banjul.
Niaje mboto nyinin kakang. Komenka memfoye. From based on Menje in the public domain, it doesn't look like his coming is being coordinated with the government of the Gambia. And nunko Ebrima Sonko ya fa nyameng, Jammeh ko mantra laring Gambia mansakunda da mabulu hani President Adama Barrow damma ECOWAS bejele United Nations beje.
No, so that is I don't agree with that. No.
No, the agreement was signed by ECOWAS and the UN. So ning atara.
Sorry. Say it again. The agreement was signed.
And it is not being coordinated with the government. My thinking is all the ECOWAS countries and everybody will make sure that Jammeh does not leave Equatorial Guinea. Number one, even let's even assume that he's going to charter a flight. ECOWAS member countries can deny to fly. There are a lot of practical impossibilities. As a Jammeh Bondino Equatorial Guinea kono, it's not that easy. It's not like me and you traveling, because niaje ECOWAS economic basir in Gambia hanibi Jammeh Kualem. So ECOWAS will still have a say. I'm saying practically it looks very impossible right now. What is your sense of how Jammeh is going to come? Because he said he communicated that to the chairman of the APRC, Lungomen Nabina, Anabina Nyameng, and all of those things. So at the level of the APRC, how do you guys expect him to come? Is he going to fly? Is he going to drive? What am Besila Drongaji Abekele Nyadile?
Fadera te kuma fanudalde o yemolo so remember to executive kono min kanyum kumul foy ndol nga mimmoy wala audio ti I mean din ngawle anon but kan tolla chairman o mimbe Gambia ne odi amta date 5 I will time for anabina nyami
audio. He said the date and the time will be communicated by the chairman. I read it.
Ndemo moyde
well
yeah mafo woman ke bari as far as I'm concerned the date and how he's coming, and I know the month that he is coming. I will follow. But I am in 40. Molo. Maybe you can verify that with the chairman of.
But I cannot reporting on the audio and the event.
You're talking about newspapers in the Gambia. They will give you a story headline and give you a different perspective of it.
Okay, Mr.
That's
Chorr,
journalism. Journalism. You can have a heading, Jammeh returning tomorrow, and then you go on this headline. The headline is Jammeh reporting tomorrow, but each and every editor reports it in a different angle that suits and sell his paper and how he wants people to read it. That is something different from the fact.
Quote from the standard newspaper. But Mr. Chorr, we are.
Niem alaw nga jek clarify obe diala ni bag.
I think
iko Jammeh bina nyami kawle foy kabringa foy ko nganyum be foyle ko mala bare na miro ani na joya miro wolom abi kulintila le tala IG Gambia Bangkok ning atar ka kulintila ka ji bang Gambia Bangkok ay karole fa bina malungo fo atake lu November lum follow war alun labango tili tan saba wala be November kana. Okay. Ko hani wo tamo ndu ferol te keno la pour ni mansa kunda diamu ba mansa kunda sa itandi ila diamu nyaya itandi ko hani be ni wato min mo man diamu ye par ka diamu mansa kunda e fana man tambi fote keno la ba fote keno la ba
if ninga tara kacha bal to kacha den dung sai manke o kacha wato bari Mr. Chorr, thank you very much indeed.
No, man, nala do nyantang alaw la Fadera nga do ngambatu nga killing the drum clarify. ECOWAS, and any other body, mi alon ko wolle be ECOWAS kono. Ite fongole ya fujanko ECOWAS la memorandum of understanding means sign. That's from you, and people are listening. But today, the Gambia government said the memorandum of understanding is not signed. President Jammeh ko, the memorandum of understanding is signed. People are speculating a signed among signed. Which is which? Ning Adraman Sakunda ko among signed. Ekomokla na in the Gambia, I want to make it very clear to you. It got nothing to interfere in the political dispensation of the Gambia, and they have nothing. Me is Sambanang. They have a mission, and that mission got nothing to do with Gambia Vitala Nyaming in terms of who comes in and out. Fulanjango, our president is not the chief of staff of ECOMIC. When ECOMIC come in, their directives come from somewhere. So as a matter of fact, ECOMIC lateral in the Gambia does not got anything with our dollars arm of government to operate la Nyaming. And Nfana got nothing to do with unless there is something that violate the agreement and the mission of the ECOMIC. But in Ghana, to threaten people, ECOMIC, Gambia, there were Nigerian soldiers who were in the, they did not participate in it because that was not their role.
Thank you very much. Abaraka Kachadia.
Na londo mo waral luwato nga dol fo wolmu toñal de facts nga dol fo munte individual la mirolete natra ku kendolom mi yalon ko abete ata salon alale ya ken khaglo kon par nga kuma fo jam yalon ko a boyta andu a manke kuma kendote salon fon la jon ya na solo wote
baraka
par inte ku kiline fana fale ko I really enjoy this conversation with you and mbela fana ali modulu jube mi mankente because na londo mo wara baake political la karo
no.
We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
We go.
Yeah.
No, you know, we really appreciate your time. We, you know, until Nafabe multi jang. Momo da na manjare bota pati minto wale bota minto Gambia. Nibe imoti mi yalon ko Gambia ko kumate until nibe kachala. So
ali alo ne memo fango mol min be presentation le ni nyata bakale because mo nyomi ko le ni jaran ko lo mbamba masol